Hello, I'm about to speak with Peter Theunis, Head of Payments EMEA at Endava.
Endava is an international company, an engineering company in a lot of industries, but we have a main emphasis on payments. And we're doing today these payments projects in Europe, in the UK, in North America, and we are doing the whole end-to-end life cycle of it, in card payments from acceptance till issuing, in the non-card acceptance account to account, or also already today more in the crypto space.
And there's a lot of talk about payment orchestration layers within the industry, with e-commerce businesses building or buying an orchestration layer to take control of their payment stack. What is driving this trend, and what are the considerations to either make or buy?
Typically, over the last years, a lot of retailers outsourced their payments to the typical PSP and acquirers. What they now come to the conclusion is that they don't own the data anymore, and they have limited capabilities or orchestrating the payments internally. So now they are looking to take it back in-house, first of all to own the data, but also to offer additional services. Think about, they can offer their own DCC, they have better capabilities for loyalty and so on. And at the end of the day, owning your own customer data is the most critical part for a merchant.
So you would consider it a core capability for a merchant?
I would consider a core capability for international merchants because there comes another complexity if you are going into Europe, for example, with the US, in the marketplaces, for example, where also EMI licensed companies, where you have to drive your revenue from one company to the other, and that's also a very complex process that is there. At the end is also the selection. Do you then going for a SaaS provider, or will you develop it yourself and run it in the cloud, for example? We with Endava, we see that a lot of these international merchants will invest in their own software, develop it bespoke for them, because it matches very much better on their own business processes as an international merchant.
And what are the drawbacks of these SaaS solutions?
The SaaS solutions are what we call off-the-shelf or commercial solutions, and they always have limited capabilities. A SaaS provider wants to be mainstream, and a number of international merchants have very specific processes to deliver not only the payment but also the goods and things that will work together there.
Okay, what other trends do you see shaping the industry in the near future?
We see a lot coming now as payment as a horizontal, outside the typical banking and payments companies that exist. One example is, for example, mobility. I think about cars, and then where you're going to pay per use for a feature. Thinking about an airco, we are here in the Netherlands, in the winter it's cold, you don't need your airco, you only activate it in the summer, and you pay while you're doing it. Transport is another example, and also in general mobility services in general is included there. Another aspect is insurances. Insurances are very manual today, the processes are manual. There is a big demand for digitalization, and payment digitalization is one of them. Again, paying a certain insurance instead of paying one time a year based on an invoice, again with a subscription fee. Retail in general, the e-commerce boom will further grow. We already said that in the previous response. And then marketplaces. Marketplaces in every aspect of life that are appearing, often complex setups of payments, because buyers and sellers can be in the same country, but can also be at another side of the world. So that is where we see the next coming years coming our big growth.